What's good? What's good? What's good to everybody? It's Sports Talk America. Your boy is back. Mr. Franchise, aka thatdude.com, aka the greatest sports analyst to ever bless the sports waves, is back.
You talking to me again?
Whoa. How rude, man. Damn. Welcome to the Nothing But Sports Show, hosted by myself, Dave Franchise. Here with me tonight, I got my guy from Texas, my dude, Justin. What's good, homie?
What's going on, man? It's been a crazy week this week. We got big, breaking news in the world going on. So I'm ready to get this show going, man. And in the words of True Sports Junkie and Keel, man, let's talk about this.
Hey, shout out to True Sports Junkie, aka I'm dodging the franchise.com /dodging. Let's get hot into this show, shall we? So, today was today was a very interesting day. Today, Derek, I don't even know how to say his last name, Chauvin, found guilty of three different counts in the death of Mr. George Floyd, who is now, in my opinion, an iconic figure in today in just life in general. But what are your thoughts, Justin, on the verdict and how it relates to everything that goes on in the sports world?
This was kind of personal. I know it's personal to a lot of people. I know you're a black man yourself, so I know this is definitely really hit home to you. But me working in the field that I work in, I am, for those of you who don't know, I'm a police officer myself, but I do work in law enforcement. So this one definitely hit home because it always put a bad stain in what we do, and this is I was very thankful for the verdict today, because what people don't understand is that there's a lot of injustices that happen, but this is not what law enforcement stands for. And if you ask most of them, 99% of them will agree that this is not what we stand for. This is not what a police officer does. That they're to help, to save people, not murder people. And I think justice was done today. We'll see in the process of of sentencing and appeals on exactly but I think it was definitely something that will probably change the world forever after today. I think it'll change how people are policed. I think it'll change a lot of things. I hope that it really gave peace to the family of George Floyd. I hope it gave peace to the city of Minneapolis. But it was a very sober day. Although I saw cheering in the streets, I didn't see it as something that I should be cheering about because a man still lost his life. I don't think this is something to celebrate. I think justice was done, and I think I'll always remember this day, and I think a lot of people will.
So, here's my take on it, man. I think this had a major effect on everyone's life because, in today's world, black man, I coach, not only do I work in IT, but I also coach young men, not just, black young men, white young men. And it's very hard to see what had happened for 9+ minutes or 9 minutes and a couple seconds, because you start to ask yourself, that could be me, that could be one of my players, that could be, a friend of mine, that could be somebody, very close to you. and you don't want anything like that to happen to somebody. So my particular opinion, like, I'm glad that we got we got justice. Like, that was the first big thing. It's justice. It served. We got the conviction. Now the question becomes, what is the sentence? Like, we can't let off. Like, we're not letting off the gas tonight. We gotta look. We gotta set a tone and set a standard, because if like, let's just say at the sentencing they only give him 3 to 4 years, is that gonna be our standard? Or are we giving people life? Are we giving cops life sentences? Or, hey, you gonna do the death penalty? One of the two. But I feel like there needs to be a standard, and there needs to be some level of something that like, I love cops. I think cops are dope. I've never had a problem with a cop. Matter of fact, our JV head coach is a cop, and I never had an issue with, never, ever, ever, ever. And I feel like there needs to be something put in place, like a standard put in place, that when you do make these mistakes, these are the things that can happen. Um, I was in the military for quite some time, and if you ever did some stuff like that, there were and you didn't show probable cause, you were punished under a certain standard, which was the UCMJ. Um, so I say a lot of that to say, um, our Navy regulations. But I say a lot of that to say there needs to be some sort of a standard that we uphold to, and there needs to be no gray area. Like, yo, you kill somebody and there was a negative intent behind it. Hey, you gotta go do some time. You gotta do something. So for me, I'm just extremely glad that there has been justice, and I'm praying that there is continuous justice, because we still have people in place today that are committing same said crime.
Definitely.
Now, in terms of the sports world, I know everyone's responding in a very positive light, but now we just gotta all wait and see what the actual sentence will be, and then we'll push forward. Like, that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see, hey, what are we gonna sentence him to, and we better not be light. We better not be light, because we got to set a tone in the president's right now. Right now, like, this cannot happen. I mean, we look. Last year was a lot. We went through too much last year and lost too many good people. Um, and we got to start setting the tone. 2021 got to be a tone setter for everything moving forward. Um, So yeah, that's my take on it, and my thoughts and prayers go out again to the George Floyd family, to all families that are affected. Not only, like, just in general, the mental capacity that people are have went through in seeing the video, as well as just being fearful of your life. So my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody, and I just pray that everybody find some sort of peace and closure in this particular situation.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's move right along. Let's move right along.
Hold
Oh
on.
my. Oh
Hold on.
my.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
there's an invasion. There's an invasion on the Nothing But Sports Show. Let me say this. I'm going to get to what we're talking about, because that's definitely something I want to talk about. But I want y'all to welcome me to the Every Now and Day show. Because this is definitely not the Nothing But Sports Show. I'm repping for y'all, but at the end of the day, y'all don't come on every week.
Whoa.
Nice to meet. Shake my hand.
Wait.
Nice to meet you guys.
Is this the guy that's came back for the first time in over 3 months, and you have the nerve to talk about someone else while somebody else has been holding down your show? No, thank you, sir.
Hey, you know the funny thing is, I actually had an injury, and I've been out for 3 months, and I've done as many shows as Jasper and Justin.
No, you know, hey man, I'm gonna bless you tonight. Go ahead with your go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not even look, I'm in a very calm, relaxed tone, but you about to get blessed tonight.
Well,
Because you've been dodging me,
I'm gonna
brother.
definitely wake you up. I'm gonna definitely wake you up. So
You've been dodging me. You've been dodging. You've been dodging. You've been dodging. But I got something for you, my brother.
Okay. Well, let me say this. As much as I'm joking, first of all, thank you guys for having me. Justin been calling me. I was actually busy doing something for my wife, but I finally called him back and he was like, "I want you to come on." And I was like, "I would not miss an opportunity to drag Justin and Jasper all across this stage, man. This is a stage. I'm about to dance. I'm about to dance tonight." But in all seriousness, though, this topic is real. You guys, me and Justin has done plenty of shows. Me and Jasper's done plenty of shows on issues similar to this when it first happened. We all teach our kids accountability. I know I got kids. Justin has kids. For y'all that don't know, Justin's my cousin. Jasper's like my brother. We grew up together. We all teach our kids accountability. And today we got Mr. Derek Chauvin had to be held accountable for what he did. I mean, at the end of the day, it don't matter what field you're in. I'm in education. Justin's in law enforcement. Jasper, he works for the government. He does basketball as well. We all have to be held to a high standard. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do, we have to be held accountable. I teach my daughters that every single day. So today, I think a lot of people, I heard Justin say they were cheering, and obviously it doesn't bring Mr. Floyd back. That doesn't bring Mr. Floyd back. But I do think it shows that, look, man, they got it right for once. They're holding somebody accountable despite what position they're in. Despite what position they're in, they're holding them accountable. And I think that's what the people were celebrating. So my thoughts and prayers are still with George Floyd and his family. This verdict does not change the fact that he's no longer here. I guarantee you, if you ask them, they would rather not be in this situation, period. So, like, once again, thoughts and prayers with him, man. Definitely him and his family. And like Jasper said, we're going to see what happens moving forward.
I agree. I definitely agree. Well said, True. Well said. I ain't gonna front. Well said. Good start. All right. Let's get into some NBA.
Oh, God.
So, the stars.
Do you know about NBA? We didn't take your coaching license from you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my
The nerve. The absolute nerve of this man.
I'm on it now. I tell you, gonna dance tonight. We gonna dance.
We about to dance.
Can I have this dance? Mr. Frank Kaminsky is Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. I just want to put that out there.
That dude was a dog in college. Nobody could take away the fact that he was a dog in college. I don't know what happened.
Number one pick in the draft. Let's not forget about the hot takes you've had on this show.
Until you can find that on video, it was never said.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No. So now let's move right along. So with stars like James Harden, Kevin Durant, Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, and others out due to injury, who looks like the favorites in both the East and the West?
Y'all want me to go first, or just
go ahead? Let's let the opening act go first.
I think honestly,
the main event goes.
Oh my God!
You say I'm putting this out there. You say something blasphemous, I'm letting you have it.
Okay, it don't matter what you say because I'll be right in the end, so it doesn't matter what you say on the show. The favorites in the West have to be the Lakers, and I know people are not gonna like what I say. I said just now, it's gonna be the Lakers. Once Anthony Davis, and we're hearing that he's gonna be back on the court within 10 days, within this week possibly. Okay. With him coming back, LeBron, he's all over Instagram. You see him in the weight room. He took off his boot. The boot came off. They got Andre Drummond. Let's not fool ourselves. I don't care if they're a 5th seed. I don't care if they're a 6th seed. A healthy LeBron James, a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy Andre Drummond, they're coming out of the West. And I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm not rooting for them. I don't want them to come out the West. But we have to be real with ourselves. There's no front court that's touching that. There's no front court, not Jokic. Don't give me Jokic, Jasper. And fix your face. Fix your face. And there's no way Jokic and Eric Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. is about to stop LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Andre Drummond. Let's not do that. And I don't want to hear about the Jazz and what they've done in the regular season. Don't bring that to me. Don't bring the Suns and Chris Paul. Chris Paul's been playing well. He's been playing well. He's been playing at an MVP caliber level. But when the chips are down, I'm a Pelicans fan. I've seen Chris Paul play a time or two. When the playoffs hit, Chris Paul ain't the same player. And that's no knock to him. He plays well in the first round. You get the Lakers, bro. They're not beating the Lakers. I got the Lakers as the favorite in the West. In the East, this is the tougher one. I will say that. This is the tougher of the two for me. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I just can't pick against Brooklyn. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me just say this. I can't pick against them because we truly haven't seen them healthy. I believe if they get healthy, you get a healthy KD, I would actually sit him for the rest of the regular season for the most part. Have him for the postseason. A healthy James Harden. James Harden hasn't been playing. If you recall, when James Harden was playing, they were saying this dude possibly could win MVP because he was winning without Kyrie, without Kevin Durant. You got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, all healthy, come playoff time. That's every night. They can score 90 points. Every one of them can win you one game in a series by themselves. They can go for 50. So what I'm saying to you, who do I trust more? Do I trust Giannis, who I've seen fail time and time and time again in the postseason? Am I trusting Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons? I love Ben Simmons on my fantasy team. Can't shoot though. Ben Simmons, don't hold me accountable for that. I'm just being real with you right now. So I've seen Joel Embiid cry because he got knocked out the playoffs. At the end of the day, I got two champions in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And when the chips are down, I'm going Brooklyn coming out the East, the Lakers coming out the West. We're getting KD and their big three versus LeBron and his big three. And the ratings are going to go through the roof. Are you kidding me? So that's where I'm at. I got Nets and Lakers.
Okay. Justin, may I do the honors, please?
Go ahead.
You out your rabbit mind? Are you serious? Yo, okay, let me break something down, okay? I'm going to start out in the West, okay? The Lake in a 7 games. Now, don't get me wrong. I do agree with the fact that LeBron and AD and Andre Drummond is a very tough front court. I get it. Their backcourt is a little sketchy at times, but it's not bad. It's not great either. But, bruh, when I look at the Lakers, I'm asking myself this question. Yo, if you gotta run it, if you gotta go in a 7-game series, Denver's not no slouch to deal with. Like, Denver's not, you're not 4-0 in Denver. You're not 4-0 in Denver. I'm sorry, you're not on 4-0 Denver.
Without Jamal Murray. He was a big-time factor in the playoffs last year.
Who's stopping Jokic?
Hey, bro.
Nobody.
Jokic is one man.
Who's stopping Jokic?
He's one man. They don't have to stop him.
Who's stopping Jokic?
Drummond.
Nobody. Okay, go ahead. Nobody. Go ahead. Nobody.
You don't even believe that, Justin. So back to what I was saying. That's not a slouch series by any stretch of the imagination. That's not a 4-0. I mean, I understand. I mean, I respect you. I gotta respect where you.
Give him 2. It won't go 7. It
ain't gonna be a slouch series.
4-1-4-0. 4-1-4-0.
If something happens where they have to see.
We're not debating whether or not it's be a good series. You're saying they're not gonna make the finals. That's what you're supposed to be debating.
Exactly.
Wait, I'm not done. Then you got to go see. Let's just say you got to see Phoenix. Phoenix healthy gives you problems. Phoenix's backcourt will cause a ton of problems for the Lakers. Was it DeAndre Ayton can play pretty good defense. He is a pick and roll problem.
Let me ask you this real quick.
CP3 is going to murk.
Okay, can I ask you a question real quick?
Go for it.
For you and anybody on Facebook right now tuned in, who was the last team that did not make the playoffs and ended up going to the NBA Finals and winning the finals? The previous year they didn't go to the playoffs at all. And then they got to the playoffs and they went to the finals. Tell me who that team was.
Wasn't that the Lakers?
What's the Lakers?
That's the last team I would guess. The Lakers.
So,
and they got a guy by the name of LeBron James. LeBron James.
Cleveland. So what I'm trying to get at is that that's not a slouch series either. That could be. I'm gonna pick the Suns.
Oh,
dude.
What?
Dude, the Suns look good. Like they look really good. Like I'm not sleeping on the Suns. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is.
Let me also mention, you know, you got Portland that's on get back right now. We all know Portland wants that get back bad. I think and this is just my opinion. I'm not saying, I'm just saying Dame Dollar got get back for that squad. They got some get back for them. Okay? And finally, I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep it so 100.
The Knicks.
No, wait. I'm gonna address that guy. I mean, I don't know why. I don't even know why he said that. But anyway, what I was about to say is the other team that poses a serious threat to the Lakers is the Clippers. Bruh, if Kawhi and PG are healthy, they could call. Bruh, it's one thing. You got two people that are LeBron James killers. Two, not one, two. And they've proven it. You've seen it with your own eyes. Kawhi is a dog.
I'm rooting for the Clippers, but I'm not.
Playoff time, he's a dog. PG, we all know what PG gonna do. I'd rather PG cut his hair prior to the series. I don't trust PG with the braids. But that's all.
He never got over the hump. He's never been to the finals. So
but maybe he needs a guy. He needs a guy alongside him. So to me, my favorites. I'm gonna just be honest. By default, everyone's gonna say LA. I like the Clippers and I like Phoenix. And y'all know I'm a LeBron hater. I just don't want to see LeBron get to the finals.
Two teams from the West can't go. Pick one.
All right, all right, fine. If I had to choose, I'm going with Phoenix. You hear it first. I'm going with Phoenix. All right. So in the East, where it is very tough, and even though you said Brooklyn, I am not going to choose Brooklyn, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not choosing Brooklyn. Brooklyn, they do not play defense. If it becomes a defensive war, they are in extreme trouble. James Harden can't stop air. Kyrie only guards in the last 2 minutes, if he's not tired. And we all know Kevin Durant. The only defense Kevin Durant plays is help defense, and that's it. He don't play on the ball defense ever. Okay? Yes, they got Blake Griffin. Yes, they still got DeAndre Jordan. I get it. But if James Harden, who is we breaking news, he's out indefinitely. The hamstring's still not there yet. Durant's still not healthy yet, and you banking on Kyrie, unstably mental head case Kyrie in the playoffs.
NBA champion Kyrie.
That was
big game, big shot, Kyrie, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my God.
So who you got?
So I'm not going with Brooklyn. I like Philly. I like Philadelphia.
I'm rooting for them, but I don't think
I want Ben Simmons will win Rookie of the Year, number one. Not Rookie of the Year. I'm sorry. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, number one. Number two, and we'll get into it later, Embiid is playing at an MVP caliber level.
Absolutely. You won't get no argument from me on that.
Tobias Harris is playing the role we all wanted him to play, which is, hey, Embiid can't get it, I got you. Let me knock this down for you. Let me buy us a bucket. Okay? And then with the emergence of Green shooting the three at a high clip, they will be fine. That's going to be a tough and with Green, what you get with him is you get a defender and you get a guy that can knock down the three. So to me, I gotta go with Philly. Hey, shout out to Mr. Kellen Kane, who decided to say that the New York Knicks, aka we have never done anything in the playoffs in the last 20 years, will win the East. I'm just letting you guys know he done lost his mind. So go ahead, Justin.
All right. In the West, I think there's one team, or let me say this: there's one enemy to the Los Angeles Lakers that could keep them out of the NBA Finals, and that one enemy is AD's legs. That's the one thing that can keep them out of the NBA Finals because I don't trust his legs.
I don't either.
That's fair. That's actually fair.
As long as he's healthy, I think they will make the finals. Now, if he's not, which I don't think he will be, I don't think they make it, and I would pick the Clippers in their place. But like I said, the biggest enemy to the Lakers are themselves because they can't stay healthy. As long as they're healthy, there's not a team in the West that can take them.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do y'all think AD has the same injury or fairly similar to the same injury that Kevin Durant had?
That's what everybody's saying.
I have a funny feeling that it might be that. And even though the Lakers are trying to get him back, I think they should hold him back.
We'll see.
We'll see. But in the East, I mean, I like Philly. I'm not sold on the Bucks. I don't think. I mean, I know Holiday was a good addition to him, but that still doesn't put him over the hump. I'm still gonna go with the Nets as long as they stay healthy. You can't defeat like practically an all-star team.
Facts.
I mean, this team was built to win a championship year one. This was not a hey, let's get together. Maybe in a couple of years we can win. This is built to win now, and I think as long as they stay healthy, like when you have three legitimate superstars on your team, nobody can hang with it. So I'm picking the Nets, and I would probably pick the Clippers, unless AD's legs prove me wrong. But other, so that's what we go with, man. The Nets and the Lakers. Oh, the Nets and the Clippers.
Shout out to Marlon Malcolm. He brings up a very good point, and I actually
Mr. Bias.
That's true. He is biased about Atlanta, everything. Even though Atlanta does not have the best fried chicken, but nevertheless, my issue is Steve Nash. Also, he's a rookie coach. I know he's been in the league a long time, but you guys have got to look at the other side of the equation. In tight games, can he coach them to victory? Can he again, in a defensive struggle, he's only looking at who can buy us a bucket. He's not thinking about can we get a stop.
But my thing is this though, Jay. That's the bad part. If they're in a tight game, no matter who they're gonna play in the East, I trust Kevin Durant and Kyrie in the clutch more than I trust Giannis or anybody else taking a shot versus them. If it's a close game, KD is, dude, who's gonna stop him from making a jump shot?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm a coach, I'm not giving that team the last shot. I've been coaching the game 7 years. I watched that team and I'm like, you're not getting the last shot. You're not. You're not, dude.
I'm not saying they're gonna beat the Lakers. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I just don't have enough confidence in all the teams in the East.
They're gonna beat. If it's Nets Lakers, they're gonna beat the brakes off the Lakers. I'm gonna be honest, because they ain't got the Lakers ain't like a healthy Kevin Durant. I'm being honest. A healthy Kevin Durant is like you're not stopping that dude, man. Like there's no you're not throwing LeBron on him because LeBron gonna get into foul trouble. You're not throwing AD at him. You're not throwing Andre Drummond at him. You're not throwing was it Marc Gasol, Paul Gasol. You're not throwing nobody on that. You're not even gonna throw what's the kid name from Louisville? You're not even gonna throw him in there. Montrezl Harrell. You're not throwing him in there against him. KD's gonna drop his 35. James Harden, on the other hand, he probably shoots you out of a game or two, but I think they're gonna beat the. If it's Nets Lakers, LeBron they about to embarrass him. I'm gonna just be honest. It's gonna be an embarrassment.
I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and go to the next topic, man, because we can argue this all night long.
Absolutely.
So who do y'all think wins the MVP race this season?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I like. I like what Joel Embiid's doing, but bro, Jokic is dropping some crazy numbers, and I wish Steph Curry hadn't started off so slow because I would easily put Steph on there, and Steph Curry's new nickname. And I came up with it personally, so if y'all try to take it, I'm just letting y'all know now I'm suing. So, it's going to be Steph, do not try this at home Curry. Straight up.
That's a long name there. Doesn't roll
Steph, do not try this at home Curry. He does stuff that you're just like, you want to tell kids, do not try this at home unless you're practicing all day, every day. All right? But logically speaking, I'm going to go with Jokic. But Steph looking like a whole nother animal right now.
I'm going with Joel Embiid.
Really?
I just think that they're the number one team in the East. Whenever you look at the Miami Heat, supposed to, take that next step with Bam and Tyler Hero, and then they add in Victor Oladipo. You thought with Milwaukee getting Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton that they would elevate. At the end of the day, Ben Simmons is not great offensively. We know that. Tobias Harris, if you look at him and say he's the number 2 option offensively, I'm saying that might be the worst number 2 option out of the best teams in the NBA. That's no knock to Tobias Harris. He's a really good player. But to say he's the Robin to Batman, that may be the worst Robin that we've seen in quite some time. And that's no knock to him. I know that sounds bad. But
sounds terrible.
But Joel Embiid, to me, man, you know what you're getting. Like, you know that they're going to try to force feed him, and there's nothing nobody can do with him. There's literally nothing nobody can do with him. Dude averages, I think, 30 points a game. He averages like double figure, like 11 or 12 rebounds. That's insane. They're number 1 team in the East, despite, like I said, Milwaukee's supposed to be great. Miami was supposed to be great. Then you got teams like Brooklyn who's like Justin said, is ready to win now. I look at them. They have the 3rd best record in the NBA right now currently. I got Joel Embiid, man. That's who I'm going with as far as MVP.
I got the Joker. The Joker's having one of the greatest seasons in NBA history. He's almost averaging a triple-double. I mean, you talked about 28 points a game by Embiid. I mean, he's averaging 26 points a game and 11 rebounds, the same amount. But what he's doing great is that he's averaging almost 9 assists a game.
What? Let me say
They
this.
dimes. They're not regular assists. They're dimes.
And look, I don't knock that. I'm not gonna lie to you. But on top of that, Joel Embiid's been playing great defense too, being an anchor for Ben Simmons to have a great year. I don't think Ben Simmons is the defensive player of the year, though. That's a whole nother topic if you want to talk about that. But being the anchor over there, now I will say this: Jokic is. Hey, I have no argument if y'all think Jokic is the MVP. I'm just saying what Embiid's doing defensively, and you know who's getting the ball, and you have to try to stop him, and you can't stop him. I'm going Embiid, man.
I feel you. I think he is double team, triple team. He is unstoppable, and he figures it out. I just man, I'll put you like this: when you wake up in the morning and you watch SportsCenter's top 10, you know the Joker's gonna be on there.
Both great. I have no issue with either guy. I lean a little bit more towards Embiid because of the defense, and y'all lean towards Jokic because of the
offense
playmaking ability. I respect that.
Right. Hey, go ahead, Justin.
All right, man. Well, let's go to the next topic, man. With the NFL draft, was it next weekend coming up quick? Everybody's number one projected pick in the NFL draft is Trevor Lawrence. Do y'all think that's the right pick for Jacksonville?
Ooh, man.
I'm not even going first. I gotta hear the nonsense that's about to come out your mouth. So go ahead.
So everyone knows he's the consensus number one. My issue with guys that are, when you got a quarterback at the number one, you got to protect your assets. You got to protect you got to protect. I personally believe if I were Jacksonville, if I was the GM, knowing that offensive line isn't that good, I would trade out of the first pick. I would trade out the. Come on, man. Hold on. We're not going to be.
Are you serious? How often do you get a number one?
Wait, listen, and I'm telling you why. Your offensive line is not that good. Okay? I understand everybody's looking like he's a once in a lifetime type QB. Wait, let me break this down. Okay? All right. This could go one or two ways, right? You could have a guy that could end up being David Carr, or you could have a guy that ends up being Peyton Manning. Okay? My issue with this dude is that it's not him, the player. It's what's around him. It's what's around him. If he doesn't have an offensive line, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. And the NFL ain't no slouch. I personally, again, as much as it is the number one pick, he's the consensus number one. Yes, I get it. If I were Jacksonville, I know True's like, this dude's crazy. I would trade back, get more assets, and I would probably build the offensive line. In addition to that, I'm going to also state this, right? Their QB situation is not that bad. It's not bad, but it ain't great. But you gotta protect this dude, man. He's the number one pick. I get it. But you gotta protect him. He's either David Carr or he's gonna be Peyton Manning. One of the two.
So why were you such in support for Joe Burrow being number one last year when Cincinnati didn't have the assets to protect him?
Cincinnati, and I even said it too. I didn't like it either. And Joe Burrow did get hurt, right? We all saw it. Cincinnati had better receivers. Cincinnati had a better running game. Their offensive line wasn't that hot, but they were okay. This is just about the same situation all over again. I feel like True's ready to roast me, but True, you gotta True.
I want to go next.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
You can go.
I want to know. I want to know what's more important, protecting the QB or getting the QB with no protection.
Having a QB that is a franchise QB that's going to be there for 10 to 15 years If you ask Cincinnati today, who had their quarterback injured, would they still pick Joe Burrow for the future?
They're gonna pick him, but the problem is you gotta protect your assets, man.
Now they can get him the offensive line, and that's one of our questions coming up. But now they can get him the protection, and they don't regret getting a franchise quarterback. You only get one.
He tore his ACL last year.
What?
He tore his ACL last year,
and he
was getting killed in the pocket.
You think they regret that pick?
Yo, this dude was getting murked in the pocket.
Do you think they regret that pick?
I'm not saying they regret it because there was no other offensive lineman last year that you could choose from. But you gotta. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying go draft for offensive lineman. What I'm saying is build your offensive line. You can build it through the draft. You can build it through free agency. Whatever the case may be. I'm just a believer that if you don't protect your quarterback, you are in trouble. That's all.
But the thing is, you only have how
I'm
often?
sorry, go ahead, Justin.
How often does the number one pick come around? It doesn't come around very often.
Facts.
Number one pick, but you have the opportunity to pick the player that most people say was number one pick if it came out last year.
Facts.
If it came out the year before that.
Facts.
We haven't had a quarterback that has been such highly anticipated as Trevor Lawrence in a long time. And if you're going to tell me that you're going to pass up on Trevor Lawrence for an offensive lineman, then you need to be.
I'm not saying offensive lineman. I'm saying build your offensive line. So are we saying Jacksonville's offensive line is not?
If you're the GM and you have the number one pick in the draft, and you have the number one recruit from the last 3 or 4 years at your disposal, and you don't take him, and he becomes Peyton Manning, you're fired.
I agree.
You do take him, and he doesn't pan out. He gets injured. He's a bust. You're not getting fired because 99% of the people in the league.
I'm the smartest man. Now I would be the smartest man in America. Well, go ahead.
Come on, man. So
no, and to be honest, if it happened, if that were to occur, again, David Carr, because everyone thought David Carr had this big arm. David Carr could make all the throws.
David Carr was
anticipated like Trevor Lawrence.
Was David? No, he wasn't. He wasn't Trevor Lawrence. He wasn't rated as high as Trevor Lawrence. But what I'm saying is, David Carr made a lot. He made a lot of great throws. He did a lot of good things in college. What happened to him when he got to the league?
Come on, man.
Nope. He went to. Be honest. No. He was the first pick of the Texans ever, and he got his head smashed. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong about David Carr, but there's nothing that says Trevor Lawrence is David Carr. There's no metric out there. I don't care what. I don't know I don't even know why you brought him up.
The reason why I'm bringing him up is that if you don't have an offense, like I just feel like no offensive line, he's in trouble.
Well,
offensive line, he's looking good.
It doesn't matter who you have to draft. I mean, you have to get offensive lineman help. It doesn't matter who's it. But the number one thing with Justin saying, which I can't believe they have to even come back and combat you with this nonsense that you're bringing up. This is total. There's a reason why. At first I was like, there's no way there could be people that really believe what you're saying right now. You're like the GM that drafted Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm really starting to believe that right now.
No,
because you're overthinking.
It's not that
you're overthinking it. You are. You're overthinking this. You're looking at it. Oh, well, we got Clyde Drexler already. So you know what? We're gonna take the big man instead of taking the best player, a generational talent in Michael Jordan. Come on, man. You cannot think like that. Trevor Lawrence is 6'6", 220. That's a big kid. Dude's been to 3 straight college football finals. Playoffs. I'm going to say playoffs. Lost to an LSU team that's arguably the greatest college football team ever. Beat an Alabama team. And then, of course, he didn't play well. The team didn't play well against Ohio State. They ended up losing that game. But 3 straight college football playoffs. And you're telling me we're going to pass on that guy? Since I've been covering the draft. Now, you know, we've been covering the draft for some time.
Yeah.
I look at Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Was a can't-miss prospect.
Correct.
Andrew Luck, I came on here and said he was a Hall of Famer. Now, he retired early, but he had a good career. I thought he was a can't-miss prospect.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm not as sold as I was on Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, but I will say this. He's literally a hair, for me, a hair underneath them. And here's the thing. You can't pass on that, Jasper. You can't pass on that.
Peyton was a different kind of dude.
You know, like Justin,
Peyton Manning was a different kind of dude.
Get fired.
Peyton Manning was a kind of dude. I'm not, look, everyone knows that, yes, you have to take what you have to, you have to go with the guy, the best player on the board. I get it. But when you talk about quarterbacks, I always say, you can ruin a quarterback easily if you don't protect.
What did they draft? Robert Gallery. I mean, I'm saying Robert Gallery was a bust as an offensive lineman. So you passed on Trevor Lawrence, you draft somebody like Robert Gallery, and it ends up being a bust. Now you're really in trouble. So my thing is, like Justin says, once you have that quarterback, and if you believe he's a franchise quarterback, and 99, like Justin said, 99% of all the guys that do this for a living is saying that this dude is a can't-miss prospect. We've seen it in 3 straight playoffs. You're gonna pass on that guy?
No way. NFL, when they came out with the order, I compare it to how the NBA lottery. Whenever the Pelicans won the lottery, it wasn't the number 1 pick lottery. It was the who's gonna get Zion lottery.
Yeah,
that's true.
And whenever they came out with this, it wasn't who's gonna get the first pick in the NFL draft. It was who's gonna get Trevor Lawrence. That's how special this guy. There was nobody talking about, what should the Pelicans do with the number 1 pick? No, they're going Zion. It's just like the Jaguars. They're going Trevor.
I understand where you're coming from, Justin. What I'm saying is this. He's gonna be the number 1 pick. That's just what it is. That's not crazy. And what's that?
And he's gonna make a whole lot of money from because they're gonna sell a lot of jerseys with Trevor Lawrence.
Well, but I look at it from like, okay, if we don't, again, protection wise, it's gonna be scary. That's just like the 2nd pick. I personally don't think if I'm the Jets, I was not gonna trade Sam Darnold. I was gonna draft the dude Sewell. Was it Penei Sewell? Because I felt like, you got a good young QB. You got to protect this dude. Now you're going to mess around and go bring a rookie QB in. You don't have receivers. You got a 40-year-old running back, and Frank Gore. You ain't got a running back like talking about it, and you about to kill this dude. You about to get this dude killed. The only safe pick right now, in my opinion, and we'll jump into it, is the Niners pick. The Niners could go anywhere, which they're probably going to go quarterback, which I think they're crazy for. But nevertheless, they got the safest pick.
But if you want to go that route, let's say you go that route, why not pick the guaranteed guy, the Trevor Lawrence? Sit him for a year. You're going to be bad. Then build your offensive lineman.
I'm not against that.
But
not against that.
You're just not going to pick a generational guy, a franchise quarterback.
But why am I going to hurt
But okay, how many teams win Super Bowls without having a quarterback?
Facts.
Very few.
That's all I'm saying. Like, you have to have that guy.
The last one was Philadelphia.
Offensive line. Dallas had the best offensive line for a few years with Zeke and all them. But guess what? That don't mean nothing.
They ain't got no defense.
Guy
right. That's true. I could. I'm not gonna. I'll just leave it at this. If it were me, I gotta protect this dude. If I had to pick him, I gotta protect him. Like my free agents, if I'm Jacksonville and I'm like, yo, the owner's like, you're gonna pick this guy, my free agency would have been built around, hey, I'm picking 3 out of the 5 best offensive linemen, hands down. 3 to 5 of the best offensive linemen, hands down, because I do not want this to fail.
Okay.
But that's my thinking.
All right.
All right.
Well, now that we discussed that, you kind of brought it up a while ago. With the San Francisco pick, who would you go with? Would you go with a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance?
You want me to go?
Sure.
Neither one of them. Are you kidding me?
If you go Mac Jones, you tripping.
Are you kidding me?
Go Mac Jones, you tripping.
I wouldn't draft none of those quarterbacks.
Thank you.
For what?
So who are you drafting? Who are you trading up to get?
I don't care what nobody else is
saying.
So
they traded up to get Jamar Chase. Is that what you're saying?
I would draft Jamar Chase if it was the 49ers. Are you kidding me?
Him and Debo and Kittle?
Let me say this.
Cancel Christmas.
Trey Lance literally jumped onto the scene this year.
Yep.
This year. Justin Fields. You trust that much? To say you trust that much? I don't. And I will say this. Justin was high on Jalen Hurts. I wasn't. But to take him number 2 overall in this draft, you better make sure. Because
Number three.
I apologize. 3. I believe the drop-off from Trevor Lawrence to one of these guys is huge.
Well, yeah. Nobody's disputing that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. For me to take him at 3, I got to believe that this guy is a franchise quarterback, and I don't believe that. I'm not saying he can't develop into it, but at 3, if you have a top 5 pick, you got to get one of the best players in the draft, bar none.
But if you're gonna trade up to the top 5 to pick a wide receiver, you better be Randy Moss.
You seen him? I know you seen Jamar Chase.
Was really good for the Falcons. They traded up for him.
I'm sorry, Jamar Chase is that dude, bro.
No, he's not. I
will say this to Justin's credit. He's not Julio Jones.
Nah, he ain't Julio, but that dude is a stud.
Jamar Chase is, to me, the most exciting player in the draft. I know some people don't agree with that. That's okay. I may be biased because I am an LSU fan. But why would you give up on Garoppolo already?
But the thing is, I agree. But once you made that trade, it's over. You've done it.
The problem is you committed $25+ million to Jimmy G. You're going to go out and draft another quarterback to quote unquote compete with them for what?
The Bears moved up to get Richard Trubisky. How did that
was foolish. And it was foolish. And look, and guess what? The 3 guys after him, MVP, Super Bowl champ, and a stud. 3 of them.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be Jamar Chase, but it can't be one of the quarterbacks. I know they're probably going to draft the quarterback, but for me, absolutely not. There's no way on earth I'm drafting a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo was just in the Super Bowl. Literally.
That's the problem I have.
To win it.
That's the problem I have.
Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes throws the ball up on a 3rd and forever, and Tyreek Hill catches the ball. I mean, they literally were in the Super Bowl. Their whole defensive line got hurt last year. They had a lot of injuries. Kittle got hurt. Why are you just going to say, you know what? We just got to start over right now. Hey,
you know the problem I have? You know the problem I have with this, True? And I hate to say this, but John Lynch is a what have you done for me lately guy. And I hate that. I hate that thinking, that ideology. And the reason why I hate it is because, again, without the injury, you're still one of the top teams in the league. You are. And technically, to be honest with you, you probably be, if it weren't for the injuries, you'll probably end up being either a Super Bowl contender or probably a team that's given Tampa Bay a lot of problems. I love the Jamar Chase pick, dude. I absolutely love it. But if I had the third pick and whoo man, this is what I would do.
But Jasper, you got to remember when you say this, it's not that you have the third pick. It's that you gave up assets to get the third pick. So that has to come into effect because you're not just picking that third pick. You're picking for all those picks you gave up to get that third pick.
I see, to go with that, I think that you add Jamar Chase. I don't think Deebo Samuel's a number one guy. I think that he's a nice slot receiver. You can even put a number two. But I look at Jamar Chase and say, when you got a George Kittle and you got the way that they run the football over there and the way they play defense, Jamar Chase is a problem. I watched a lot of Jamar Chase, and I know we can sit here and say Joe Brady and Joe Burrow, they made him what he was. You had Justin Jefferson on the other end.
But you have another offensive mind.
I ain't gonna lie, that's why I'm a little reserved behind him. But I'm thinking with Kittle, Deebo, the running game, that defense, I know one thing.
And Shanahan.
AJ Terrell in that championship game get destroyed by Jamar Chase. I mean, he's in Atlanta, first-round draft pick, and he got absolutely destroyed when he played Jamar Chase one-on-one.
Y'all see my face? Do you see my face? He got murked. Look, that joint was ugly. It was uglier than this face on the screen right now. That's how ugly it was. AJ Terrell dropped from being like a top 10 to outside the top 10. That's how bad it was. And it could have, actually, to be honest with you, he should have dropped out the first round. That's how terrible it was. But in my opinion, yes, they did trade up. I love I ain't gonna lie, I love the Jamar Chase. I love how they're going after him, but I hate to say this, they're gonna go quarterback, man. And if they had to go quarterback, I'm going with Justin Fields. And here's why. Kaepernick, he reminds me just a little bit of Kaepernick, but just a tad bit more accurate.
Kaepernick's this damn. Kaepernick's like
you did him dirty like that. Come on, man.
He reminds me a little bit of Kaepernick. I also feel like you could do a lot of you could open up the playbook with him just a tad, especially with a guy like Shanahan. You can definitely do a lot of great things with this kid. You can run a lot of read options with this guy. You can, and to me, it's a guy that if Jimmy G's your number one, you can sit him for 1 year and you could groom him accordingly. I'm not sold on Trey Lance. Trey Lance is Mitchell Trubisky 2.0. He's got bus written all over him. And if Carolina picks him, if San Francisco takes him, whoever takes him, it's a bust. And I got some takes on the bus. But nevertheless, I go with Justin Fields because when you go up against and here's another thing, competition wise, the dude went up against some pretty tough teams. And I'm not saying that it doesn't equate to NFL teams, but he did go up against some tough teams and he did perform fairly well. Mm-hmm. The problem I do have with him is in crunch time, he is very erratic and he makes some shaky decisions.
To me, he's a poor man's Kyler Murray. He's not as athletic as Kyler Murray. He's short like Kyler Murray. He's not as accurate as Kyler Murray. He made some accurate throws versus Clemson. Live. Those throws was on a, but anybody could do that
on a rope
every now and then.
Right.
To me, it wasn't consistent enough for me. I'm not sold at all. At all.
Let me say this. I'm with y'all with San Francisco not picking a quarterback. I wouldn't have picked a quarterback in San Francisco. I see that in their division, they see that, you know, they got some good competition. If they don't have a quarterback, they won't compete. But once you've made that trade, it's kind of apparent you have to go quarterback. You can't make that trade if you're not going quarterback, because that's what you do if you give up those kind of assets. That
Right.
being said, I would go Justin Fields just because I think that, you know, he is a proven leader. I think, you know, like he said, with the competition that he's had, he's not as accurate as, you know, Trevor Lawrence is. He's not as clutch, but what he does with his feet is pretty special. Like you said, or to Kyler Murray, I think he's a better prospect than Kyler Murray was.
Wow.
I do.
Wow.
I do. I do.
Oh, y'all both need to be drug tested after this show now.
But
Hey, can I say this? Can I say this? Yo, this dude Dane Diaz says, but Trey Lance only has 0 interceptions. It's easy to have 0 interceptions whenever you're a college quarterback on a FCS team playing against high school players. I don't even I take it as fool's gold. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I don't even accept his stats because it's all fool's gold. He ain't play nobody. He ain't play nobody.
Hey, I'm not really sold on the small school guys often, unless, you know, I watched a lot of film on him. I watched some film on him. I can't go that far yet on him. I have to say, I don't think you should take him in the top 5. I think that's a guy that you have to develop and see what happens. That's just my take on him. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad quarterback. I just can't see him going that high in the draft. That's too much of a gamble for me.
I'm gonna say it. He's fool's gold. But go ahead.
Justin Fields, if you believe that he's Russell Wilson, which he didn't go in the first round, top 3 neither, or you believe that he's Drew Brees, because they're both short too, then that's one thing. But I just don't see it, man. And I could be wrong.
The Russell Wilson comparison, I saw that. I mean, I saw Russell Wilson at NC State and then again at Wisconsin, and you saw it. The problem was his measurables wasn't there. Like he wasn't tall enough. He wasn't the fastest guy out there. He was just average Joe QB. But when you look at him like on film in college, bro, Russell Wilson was really good. Same thing with Drew Brees. Really good QB, accurate, but he was just a willy-nilly, just average Joe QB. But when they both got to the league, they lit it up.
Fair enough. All right, man. Since we've already talked about the number 3 pick, we're gonna get to that number 5 pick because y'all kind of talked about it earlier. But you're the Bengals, and you got Joe Burrow who's coming off the big injury. Do you give him a weapon and get Chase if he's available, or do you get him some help on the offensive line and get Cyril?
This is the hardest decision for Cincinnati Bengals fans, hands down. Do you go with a guy that can move the chains, or do you go with the guy that can protect, like legit protect Joe Burrow's blind side? And I'm gonna be honest, man. Go with the guy that look offensive line, like really good left tackles are a dime a dozen. Really good ones are a dime a dozen. I'm going with I gotta go with Sewell. I got to. And it's only because you gotta protect your assets. You got to. And if you can protect him, you protect Burrow, save him from getting killed in that pocket, and let him throw some dimes, you'll be fine. And there's good wide receivers in the draft. There's a lot of good ones. And not saying that Jamar Chase is going to be really good in the league, but there's also really good wide receivers in this draft. So I personally would go offensive tackle. I would go with the left tackle. I really would.
I was gonna murder if you didn't say that. If you didn't say that after you said don't draft Trevor,
yeah.
I would just murder you.
Oh man.
No, just my it's just my thing. I watched I watched quite a bit of football this year, and I've been watching a lot of NFL Network, and I've been watching a lot, like being a little bit more analytical and like looking at some of these guys. And one of the main like prime example, Pat Mahomes, he wins the Super Bowl with a really good offensive line. But the next year, two of your offensive linemen are out, and now you're getting murked in the Super Bowl. That matters. That matters a lot. Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a statue in the pocket, but guess what? He had some damn good offensive linemen protecting him, and he won two Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, same thing. I think that offensive line matters.
Yeah, man. This I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is tough. Y'all really put me in a tough spot because I love me some Jamar Chase, man. Dang. But I gotta be honest with you, man. You're gonna have to shore up that offensive line. You have to. I mean, at the end of the day, you drafted Joe Burrow #1, and you have pretty good receivers over there. T. Higgins was not a bad pick last year from Clemson. He's a decent receiver. He had decent games. I think, now that AJ Green's not there, I think he can take the next step.
Tyler Boyd's
not a bad receiver, but man, I would go to Joe Burrow. I'd be like, look, man, what you want to do? You tell me what you want to do, because right now I want Chase, but I want to protect you. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna lose my job with your decision.
I'm not asking.
I'm going down in flames. I'm going down in flames one way or the other.
I'm not asking him.
But
because he's gonna say Chase.
But yeah, he will. But you know something though? Like, to be honest, look at that division. Okay? Really look at that division.
Defense.
A defensive division,
Yeah.
a division that's got some pass rushes in there. You got to protect this. I'm sorry.
Is Burrow gonna play next year? Y'all think the entire season?
Who?
I'm saying, like, I'm not. Of course, he can get hurt again. I understand, but do you think he's gonna start week 1 after that injury?
Did he? He got hurt in what, week 8, right?
I thought it was like week 10. I might be tripping.
He'll play. He'll play.
Because I will say this: if he doesn't play, I'm taking Chase. if he says, I'm gonna tell you why. If he's sitting out this season, I'm like, well, shoot, I'm getting my guy that I like.
Okay, well, but not playing week 1 is not sitting out the whole season.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. If he's gonna sit, if he says, well, you know what, I want to make sure I'm healthy, I'm taking Chase. I'm telling you.
And he sounds scary. Hey, that dude sounds scary if you say that. But no, I get it.
No, I know he's gonna play. I just told you I would take the offensive lineman, but I'd really go to him and ask him. I would be okay with that. I'd be like, look, what we doing? What we doing? Y'all, coach, what you want to do? Burrow, what you want to do? Everybody, what we doing? I might flip a coin. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. This is how close this is for me.
No.
Because I just believe in my heart of hearts, bruh, Jamar Chase is special, man. I'm not saying he's Randy Moss. I'm not saying that. That's a different level type of special. I'm not saying he's Julio Jones. But if he ends up being a Hall of Fame receiver, dude, that's going to be tough to say that you passed on that, bro.
But the thing is, whenever you pick Chase, you're picking Chase over Joe Burrow because you're saying, I don't care about you, Joe Burrow. I don't care if you're going to be here in the next 10 years.
You are saying
that special game.
You are saying that. I don't care. Look. I want to score points, but I don't want to protect you.
Okay, but who's to say? Okay, I would try to have what I think they have the 5th pick in the draft. 5th pick. Okay, yeah. I would try to mortgage the house to move back into the first round and give me an offensive lineman. I would do something. I would try to get Chase and the offensive lineman. That's just me though. I would want to pass up on Jamar Chase. I think I would kick myself over that decision later on.
So let me add, like, you brought up Randy Moss, right? And we all know Randy Moss dropped, what, like 15 picks, 13 picks, right? Would Randy Moss have been your number one pick, knowing what we know now?
The year he came out, who was the number one pick? I can't think off the top of my head who was the number one pick.
98.
Isn't that Peyton Manning's year?
Oh, if it was Peyton, there ain't no damn way in hell I'm picking him over Peyton Manning. Ain't no way in hell I'm picking him over Peyton Manning. Who was number one in 1998? I'll be honest with y'all.
1998. 1998, the first pick was Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt I'm taking Peyton Manning.
Wait. We're gonna laugh about this for a second. So Peyton Manning was 1.
Ryan Leaf 2, I know.
Ryan Lee 2. Wadsworth was and Andre Wadsworth was 3. Charles Woodson number 4. Curtis Enos, the running back from Penn State, was 4. Grant Wistrom was 5. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Grant Wistrom was 6. The Saints went. I don't know why we picked this dude. Kyle Turley at 7.
Turley wasn't a bad player. He shouldn't have been picked before Randy Moss, but you see, there y'all go with that offensive lineman stuff. That's my proof right there.
But Randy Moss was high as a kite in college.
I agree. I just said I don't think Turley was bad. But
Randy Moss was high as a kite in college. Greg Ellis was 8.
I'll say this on air. I thought at that time Ryan Leaf was going to be good. I wouldn't have taken him over Peyton Manning, but I did think Ryan Leaf was going to be a good quarterback. And golly, he might be one of the worst busts in the history of NFL.
I think Ryan Leaf was put into a very undisciplined situation. They gave him too much. They gave a young dude too much money, and they wanted him to be the franchise. And I don't think he was mentally ready for it.
Okay,
that's what brought him.
Place, Justin.
But nevertheless, I'm sorry. I got to digress.
Final topic. Since we're talking about players that were drafted long time ago, this week Alex Smith hung up his helmet after a 16-year career in the NFL. What do you think about this guy's career?
I am going to say that Alex Smith was the guy that he was a safe starter who mentored pretty good QBs that had that had some moments and had a major effect on Pat Mahomes.
That's what you're gonna remember him for?
I think he's a safe. He was safe. He was not a.
Not that he had one of the biggest comebacks in sports history.
Hey man, that man said his piece.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Well,
so yes, he did come back from Joe Theismann didn't even come back the same from it. Let alone Alex Smith. On top of, like I said, in terms of the quarterback, he was a safe guy. He played the game in a safe mode. Like everything was safe, but he also mentored really good QBs. And I think he had a major effect on guys like Pat Mahomes. Cap, the 1-2 years that Cap was there. When Cap was really good. So to me, I think bro, you gotta look, man. Cap was that 1 year Cap was a dog. But in terms of, I don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
No, I can't even lie. I like him, but I know.
I like him too, but he's a safe shooter. Everything was safe.
Okay, what I'm gonna remember about him. And I wanted to write down a few things because y'all know I didn't even look at y'all topics before I even came on here. That's the bad thing. But definitely the injury is always going to play a part. That injury, like Justin said, alluded to, dude. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I didn't think he was going to come back from it. And when you watch the videos from it, bro, I became more of a fan after watching it. And I think that we'll never understand because the injury didn't happen to us and we're not professional athletes. But to play at that type of level and have that kind of injury and then come back and play, dude, that's remarkable in itself. I think he has books in the future. I think that he can definitely be a motivational speaker in the future just by coming back from that. Just to go around to schools and businesses and tell people, look, man, you can overcome anything if you really believe in yourself and you're willing to work. He has a story, and we can't knock that. I'm also going to remember on a side note that he was the number 1 pick the year Aaron Rodgers was drafted. That was the argument. Who do you take? Him?
It was close. It was close.
I'm going to remember him going undefeated at Utah. For those that don't know, he did play at Utah. He Urban Meyer coach. Yep, undefeated season. And what I'm gonna remember, I know y'all gonna hate what I'm about to say, but you see that belt behind Justin? I won a fantasy football league with Alex Smith as my starting quarterback. Woo! So Alex Smith, I want to thank you, brother, for an amazing career.
Get off this broadcast with that nonsense, man.
For an amazing career, but an even better story and comeback, which I think that can't go unsaid. And also for giving me, Trex the Sports Junkie, a fantasy football championship. Woo! Go ahead, Justin.
Please go.
Well, speaking of championships.
Oh, my God.
The champ is here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith, you know, I'll remember his days in San Francisco. I mean, they made it to the NFC Championship with Alex Smith. I always thought he was a good player, never a great player, never one of your top 5 tier quarterbacks in the league, but always somebody who's consistent, somebody you can rely on, you know. And the fact that he came back from that injury where they didn't just say, hey, you don't think you can play football anymore.
That's right.
They said, I don't think you will be able to walk anymore. That's on a different level. I've never seen that come from any NFL player. I've never seen someone who, you know, they were talking about amputation for this thing. And he came back, and not only came back, he didn't come back to be that mentor to somebody. He came back and he was a starter. And he went 5-1 on a bad football team. The Washington football team. He went 5-1 as a starter. I mean, you can't say enough about this guy. This guy
playoff team. Huh? Playoff team.
The playoff team in the worst division in the history of the NFL.
They were a playoff team.
7-9.
They were a playoff team.
Come on, man. Don't do that. 7-9. Don't do that.
We
don't do
that.
that.
This neither though. In 2011, I thought that the Saints had another great chance to win the Super Bowl, and they lost to Alex Smith.
He ruined it.
In a great game, one of the best games I've ever seen, the Vernon Davis catch from Alex Smith.
So yeah,
one of his best dimes. That's one of his best throws he ever made.
Yep.
I don't think by far he's not a Hall of Fame player, but I think his story deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know that I don't know if they have like a Smithsonian of the NFL, but I think his story belongs in it, and that his story will live on forever because I don't know if we're ever going to see a player come back from such a gruesome injury as Alex Smith, and he's such a class act. I really appreciate what he's done. The motivation he's going to give these guys because you never give up, no matter what. Follow your dreams, no matter what is put in front of you. If you work hard, you can get back to where you want to be, and he proved that. Come on, Keo, don't do that.
Hey, it's funny that you're talking on the side. Why you wasn't on this show? I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. Go ahead, Justin.
No, man, that's all I have to really say about Alex Smith, man. I'm not gonna, I know you said that he was a good mentor, but I think it's kind of disrespectful to his career to remember him as the guy who taught somebody else how to be good. It's really disrespectful. I can say that people remember Jasper for teaching Justin to be the best in the league, but I think that'd be a little disrespectful at this point. So I'm gonna leave your
and untrue.
You gotta say, Jasper.
What's my name, man? What's my name, man? I'm the franchise, man. I make things happen.
Well, I franchise players play every night. Oh!
Wow.
So next week, same time, I expected Nothing But Sports Show to be on.
I had an AD injury, man.
Oh.
You had a true ex-sports junkie injury, sounds like.
Wow.
No, I had an AD. But now, with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get to our shout-outs, man.
Well, I'll go first because I'm your guest. So shout out to you guys, in all honesty, for having me on, man. I'm sorry I couldn't answer the phone earlier, Justin. If I would have knew, I would have prepared a little bit better. I know I saw somewhere, I was looking at your topics just now. I'm going to give y'all a sleeper for the NFL draft. Terrence Marshall, LSU.
That's who I was going to pick, honestly. I showed to you on my phone.
So I want to just say this before I get off of here.
Everybody.
I would not.
They sleeping on him.
And I just tell you how much I like Jamar Chase. I would not be surprised if Terrence Marshall is the best wide receiver in this draft. Remember, I told y'all that. That's how good I think he is.
I'm not saying that. I didn't go that far.
Oh, but you're gonna say Justin Fields should go number 3. That's
bro. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, and I know we're gonna close out, but this dude, Marshall's a different kind of dude. And I'm gonna also say this, and some people might agree, disagree. LSU is wide receiver university, man. You want a good wide receiver? Hey, man, don't go to the University of Miami. Come to LSU, baby. Into the boot. We got him. This guy.
Oh, man. Come on.
Oh, let's go. The Bayou Bengals, baby. Y'all know the vibes.
Go Tigers.
Hilarious. But nah, seriously, man. I know LSU known for great defensive backs, but hey, man, it's wide receiver man. Just about all them Justin Jefferson this past year put up some crazy numbers, even though he should have won Rookie of the Year. But nevertheless, I'm gonna let Justin get his shine on for that.
I enjoyed my booty, by the way. Thanks.
Yeah, I know you did. Because I really wanted Justin to win it, Jefferson to win it. But anyway, Terrence Marshall's a whole different kind of dude, man. Burrow had some weapons to his disposal. That's all I can say.
Yeah, man. Seven games last year. He played in 7 games, and we know how that quarterback situation was. Dude had 10 touchdowns. Let's just put that out there. And he didn't play the rest of the year. So
there was some crappy quarterbacks on top of that at LSU.
Don't
crappy.
Miles Brennan, watch your mouth.
Miles Brennan is trash. You know that.
Let's go.
Miles Brennan is trash. Go ahead and get to the shout out.
Drug test them. Keel, get these 2 guys drug tested after the show. The Nothing But Sports brand is demanding it.
You gonna ask the guy who's on the most drugs to drug test us?
Wow.
The standard
I was the only one saying stuff that meant something on here. You guys are just
So with that being said, hey Justin, go ahead and start the shout out, man. So
right, man. Or shout out to you too, man. We're happy to see you back, man. While you're out, you joke around about us not doing shows, but you were out for a long time, and a lot of people held it down. So I appreciate you coming back and blessing us with your presence, man.
2 days in a row, and I'll be on tomorrow. Let's talk about it. Y'all know what the vibes are.
You got some catching up to do. You definitely got some catching up to do.
I got this.
So, but in all jokes aside, glad to see you back. Thanks for coming on the show. It's been a really good show. I know, in the world today, it's been a little bit, a different tone. Some people have been celebrating, other people or it's a little sobering. But at the end of the day, I hope that we all come together. I hope this is a really unifying day we had today. This is a day that I know I won't forget, and I think many won't forget. With the verdict that came in today, and I'm just glad to be able to do a show with guys like y'all who are my brothers, and that we all love each other, man. Because at the end of the day, it's all about respect, about unity, about love, and I really appreciate getting that from y'all. So I'm just glad that there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. What you got, Jasper?
So as always, shout out to our armed forces members, our first responders out there. Everybody that's been rocking with us. Shout out to the whole NBS brand. I'm glad to see like guys like Marlon and Wes, in the chats. Shout out to everybody that's just been rocking with us for over just almost 10 years, a little over. Over 10 years. True, I'm glad that you came on. I'm glad that you're in good spirits. Oh Lord, amen. Wow, dude. One of the things that, in life, True says love over everything. I feel like love conquers all. And I truly believe that if, the saying is love thy neighbor. And I just want to reenter, like kind of touch on that because, in life, you know, you see a lot of people that have quote unquote selfish intentions or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, when we part, this earth, you don't want to leave this earth on negative terms. You want to leave on positive terms. So because of that, love thy neighbor, love each other, pour love into society. And it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. It really is. And it's great to see people unite. And I understand why people celebrate, but at the same token, it's good to see people unite over a common cause that definitely needs to be addressed at some point, at some junction of life, because True has children, Justin has children. I pray I have children someday, and I could tell my kids, and they could tell their kids, and their kids' kids, and kids' kids that, hey, man, we went through this, but you don't need to. You're not going to have to live through that struggle. So I say that to say, hey, keep rocking. Love thy neighbor. Love conquers all. Again, love over everything. And be blessed, be thankful. And guys, let's keep rocking, man. Again, check us out on YouTube. I'm gonna be back next week. True, if you come back in here next week, man, we're gonna have some real life issues, brother.
Let me say this. If y'all haven't checked it out, check out last night's interview. Truex and Keo had a fire interview last night with Miss Official from New Orleans, the top battle rap in the world.
Wow.
Fire.
Appreciate that, man.
Fire. So check it out if you haven't checked it out before. It'll be on YouTube, on Facebook. Man, check out his show tomorrow. He's gonna need the help, to get the viewers. So if you have a charitable heart out there, please take your time to listen to this nonsense. He'll be on tomorrow.
Drug test these guys. We out of here, y'all. Drug test. Y'all give me a drug test. Keo.
Hey, man, you guys be.
I'm about to call you, Keo.
Hey, you guys have a good night. Peace. Be good.